Hello and welcome back to the PI Crust. This is episode 4. I'm Dan, and that's Mike.
Yes, I'm Mike.
And hold on to your butts. We're doing things a little out of order because we have a major announcement and a big movie review at the end. So we're flipping things on its butt. So hold on to yours. First things first, Microsoft made a big announcement today.
Oh boy.
And it goes like this. An internet connection will not be required to play offline Xbox One games. After a one-time system setup with the new Xbox One, that means when you get your Xbox One home and it sets everything up, you have to be plugged in. After that, you can play any disc-based game without ever connecting online again. There is no 24-hour connection requirement, and you can take your Xbox One anywhere you want and play your games, just like your 360.
Yeah. They totally pulled an Xbox 180.
Yes, from now on you should be known as the Xbox One.
Yeah, I thought I was clever when I made that joke, but then I found out everyone else on Twitter was making it, and I'm like, oh fun. I'm the funny one.
You are not. You are the potato one. So yay!
Yeah, they had to have felt the heat from Sony or something.
Well, that's
so soon after E3. They must have looked at the initial pre-order numbers or something. They're like, yeah, we're getting our asses kicked. We better.
I saw some video on YouTube about that. Like, out of the top 20 video game things, the first Xbox One thing is like 13th.
But yeah, it's still $100 more than PS4, and it still spies on you. And it doesn't Super Smash Brothers or Bayonetta 2. So next, please.
Yep, and also because of that, trade in, lend, resell, gift, and rent disc-based games just like you do today. There will be no limitations to using and sharing games. It will work just as it does today on your 360.
Yeah. They're still going to get their asses kicked.
Like I said, there's still a camera and a microphone that are on in your direction all day.
The only exclusives I can think of they have is Forza and Halo. Is that going to be enough to get Xbox over them?
They're moving. I don't know if they're going to move on my Gears or not. Probably they are. And then...
They're not going to bring it back now.
And now that the new Dead Rising game is being produced by them or whatever?
Yeah, that's like pass.
I love Dead Rising, but...
That's not really a must-have game, you know. Well, I wouldn't say.
I love Dead Rising, though, but...
I wouldn't say it's worth buying an Xbox One just to play it.
Nope. I love Gears of War, but... Like I told somebody the other day, 3 things I'm going to miss when I switch. Achievements, the controller, and Gears of War.
I still think we're getting the Wii U. Because I just want Smash Brothers. That's all I care about now.
So you're going to play as Mega Man or as...
I can play as the freaking villager and freaking axe everyone to death.
Cut down everyone's trees.
Down your tree on the... Yeah, that's one of its attacks, right?
Yeah, it's like a special attack or whatever. Yeah. Chops a tree down on you. And the worst part is that you have to open your gate to let him in.
I think one of his counter moves or something is like he steals your rocket out of midair and can throw it back at you. He pockets one of Samus's rockets and he can throw it back at her.
That's hot.
But yeah, best of luck on your future endeavors, Microsoft.
Yep, they're getting better, but there's still 2 big problems.
They already dug that hole.
It's still $500, and it's still spying on you. It's watching you masturbate.
Oh, we say that on the show?
It's a clinical term? Don't know. But you recently finished Tomb Raider and on a big Tomb Raider kick.
Yes. I finished the Tomb Raider reboot game. Should we talk about the other ones first before we get into this one?
It's up to you. You're the Tomb Raider guy right now.
I get a huge. Now I'm trying to think of what I had to say about it. Oh, pardon me. But yeah, I finished it, and it was alright. I wouldn't think it was fantastic, but there's so many problems I have with all these modern game things that features, I guess they could say, in modern games, like the regenerating health and the the little navigation thing that tells you always where to go. Like, here's the problem with that regenerating health thing. Like, first, like, big scene in the game, she, like, gets impaled through the stomach with, like, it's with a rebar. So then she gotta heal that, and later on that comes back to aggravate her, like, later in the game. But she can get hit by a bullet, and then a few seconds later she'll be fine. So, yeah, I don't get game logic like that, and...
It doesn't make sense, but as a gamer, I like it.
It's one of the, it only makes sense because it's a video game.
Because then I'd be like, well, now I gotta find a freaking health kit, so I gotta spend 10 minutes looking for a health kit because I got hit by 2 bullets.
There aren't health kits in this one either.
Well, because you don't need them.
Yeah. It's something else. She must have, like, the most ridiculous upper body strength.
They work like ballasts.
Have you seen, like, like the older games where she's like crawling on edges, like hanging on ledges by her arms?
Yeah.
Like Ninja Warrior style? Yeah, that's another thing that only makes sense in video games, I guess. And she's able to, like, hold on for that long without getting tired.
You can, like, leave the room and come back 10 minutes later and they're still hanging there.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, the story could have been a lot better. I mean, the character development, rather, because it's, oh, look, this person died. Oh, why should we care? But it doesn't make you care about the survivors. Yeah, and, like, or she can, they don't really say how she would, like, she already technically know how to use a bow in the game. And this is supposed to be, like, an origin story. Like, they never, like, say where she learned to do that. Or I guess they say, I think it was like she took survival classes. That's how they explain that. But
she spent 5 years on an island.
She spent 5 years on a Chinese island with oh yeah, we used this joke last time.
With Deathstroke and...
With Deathstroke. Yeah, I played a little of the multiplayer, and it's nothing fantastic. But, I was gonna mention my markout movement of the game. But you're like, no, I don't play it, so don't spoil it.
I am gonna play it in the next few weeks, hopefully.
So there's like this part where she gets like tripped up in the bushes, and then she decides to wear the short shorts. That may or may not be true.
Because she'd rather have her legs cut to ribbons than have her pants caught. She better wear them booty shorts, girl.
Has she got a booty?
She do. So, but because of this game, you have now decided to play all the other ones you can.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I feel like playing that Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light now. Because that was like Summer of Arcade in 2010, right?
It was like the second Summer of Arcade, I think.
I know it was 2010. Get off Facebook, Mike. Yeah, it's 2010 because that was like the last time I played it. But yeah, I ended up S-class in that one. It's a shame, because that was a good game too, and I kind of didn't give it much mind. I think I only got it just so I can get like those 800 free points, or whatever that was for the promotion. If you get all the games, they give you an 800 point rebate. I think it was like 3 games.
Yeah, but I think that year, like, all the games were $15. So.
I don't even know what other 2 games I got. Well, it might have been Monday Night Combat, which I played like once. And I forget the other one.
I don't remember.
But yeah, that was a pretty good game, and I made you play it with me.
Yeah, you got me like...
Hey man, help me get achievements.
2 of the achievements I didn't have.
But you're like, no, I'm not going to get this because I don't want to speed run.
I don't want to do that one. It's just too much stuff going on.
It's pretty easy if you just haul ass through the level and don't even fight anyone. Also, I picked up, what was it, Tomb Raider Anniversary, which I guess came out in 2007. I guess to coincide with her 10-year anniversary. But yeah, it's a dated game, all right.
Mm-hmm.
It could be there could be some frustrating parts when you got to jump. But yeah, it's all right. It plays all right. I'm still gonna slowly get through it. It's nothing fantastic. I thought I was gonna be able to get 1,000 points on that one, but yeah, I don't know because it looks tough now, especially with the speed trials. There's just so many cheap ways to die. But yeah, that's about it for the Tomb Raiders.
All right,
It's a workout moment anyway.
I have been playing Fable 3 because it was free if you have gold. And it's a Fable game. If you enjoy Fable at all, you'll enjoy this one. It's a little bit better in almost every way than 2. It's more Fable.
Oh yeah.
And you can get almost all the achievements in this one as well. So.
Oh, does Peter Molyneux show up in that game and lie about everything?
Yep, he totally is just like, he just shows up at one point and he's like, you reset your system and change the clock so all your radishes will be ready.
Oh. Don't reset the game.
Were you a jerk? Your radishes will be ready in 5 minutes. I don't know.
But yeah, I could care less about getting that game because Peter Molyneux is a turd, and that Milo thing for Kinect was never going to happen because, yeah.
But yeah, so if you have Xbox Live Gold, it is free. So if you want a free game with free achievements, then grab it.
The other two were, I think, starting in July is when the 2 a month starts.
Yeah.
So when Assassin's Creed 2 comes out, I'll finally be able to play that, and that's apparently an easy 1,000 achievements.
You can easily get almost all of them, and then a couple of them will take a long time. I'm missing 4 achievements in that game, and when I get that game for free, I'll clean them up.
Is that like find all the feathers, or?
Yeah, find all the feathers and find these hidden videos and then put them in the right order and stuff like that. But it's doable, and I'm going to do it once that comes out.
It's just a time-consuming one.
Yeah. And on Halo 3 is the next one, or whatever. And really, all I have left in that is online ones, and I really don't want to play that online.
Oh yeah, we gotta. They're gonna be like bugging me every day now. Oh, we gotta do these challenges now.
I don't even know if Halo 3 had those.
Is Nathan Fillion in that one?
No.
No. Then I can care less.
Unless they retroactively put his voice in for your multiplayer character.
I'll just retcon the game and add him in there.
You're like, you can have Buck's voice, and you're like, that's Nathan Fillion. He's Frank Castle on that show.
Frank Castle. Do we have to explain that joke, or do we already do that one?
I don't know. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Oh.
I don't even remember what it was that we were talking about, and Nathan Fillion was in it. And you're just like, oh, I love Nathan Fillion.
That's what it was. I was like, he's Frank Castle on that show, but I meant to say Richard Castle, but my mind landed on Frank.
And I'm just like, that's the Punisher.
That's the Punisher. Like, but I knew I was wrong as soon as I said it, but it's still funny anyway.
Just said it. Any other video game stuff?
I don't even know what's coming out.
Oh, GTA
I pre-ordered.
Coming out.
I pre-ordered GTA 5 as well when I picked up that Tomb Raider Anniversary.
Oh, did you?
Yes, September. Should get here
17th. It's in 3 months. Still.
I didn't think it was that soon.
July, August, September. 3 months.
Nothing's even out in September. I don't think there's ever any game good that comes out in September, or in summer, rather.
I don't know. And then Batman's in October.
Oh.
So it's all weird.
Sorry, I could care less about that one, actually.
I don't know, you should read what Game Informer said about it at E3.
What'd they say?
That it's awesome and it's still good.
Oh. Yeah, that's Game Informer.
Game Informer despite the fact that it's ran by GameStop, is probably the best video game magazine there is out there still, which is very odd.
It's the only video game magazine now.
It's really weird. But I guess that's it for video games.
It could be like IGN, where Mass Effect 3 is the greatest game ever, just because Jessica Chobot's in it. Someone in their employees in the game, so they're going to give it a good rating.
Speaking of Jessica Chobot, she's a MILF.
You would do her right in the Chobot.
In the Chobot.
The Chobot.
The Chobot. So moving on from video games, since we're doing a backwards episode, we're going towards television. Like I said last week, I finished Teen Titans, the anime-style one that was out like 10 years ago or so.
Oh, yeah, I like Raven. I've only seen like 2 episodes of that show.
And it's like, it is just barely anime.
It's not American anime.
Yeah, there's like anime styling in there, but it's just to the right level that it doesn't bother me. I really enjoyed the show. I thought it was fun, and it wasn't too kiddie. The new one, Teen Titans Go, is like a completely new animation style, and it's for babies. You just look at it and you're like, oh, well, I guess I'm not watching this. They're all like chibi, but they're like super small. So it's kind of off-putting. But yeah, Teen Titans is a group of young superheroes led by Robin. And then there's Starfire from another planet and Raven.
Is she a lesbian?
I guess Starfire's into Robin. Beast Boy and Cyborg,
Cyborg for his forced push.
Who's been, getting a forced push on the JLA.
Wrestling references. Oh, should we mention Club Kayfabe?
We can.
Go listen to Club Kayfabe.
The Club Kayfabe podcast, a wrestling podcast that I am the third
wheel.
Third wheel on that Kawasaki three-wheeler. But yes, Teen Titans. It's another good DC cartoon. Yeah. But speaking of DC cartoons, they released the trailer for the upcoming new show, Beware the Batman.
More like Beware the Show.
Oh, it was so bad. It's like a 3D animation, but it's like...
I was like, is this a fan-made thing? Because that's like the quality you expect if it was just a fan-made thing, but I'm like, you're like, this is an actual show. And I'm like,
it's the actual show. It's coming like July 17th or something.
And I'm not a fan of that style.
It's like super 3D and like, it just does not look good.
His face looks, what's up with his face?
It's too round. After having like 3 Batman shows where his face was a square, now it's too round.
But yeah, I saw that trailer and I'm like, why is he fighting Lady Gaga?
Yeah, and that's the other thing about this show, is there's going to be like little to no mainstream / known Batman villains in this show. It's just going to be generic bad guys.
I saw Anarchy. That's...
Yeah, you want to know when I learned about Anarchy, the character, and that it even exists? Like 3 weeks ago when I saw a picture from Arkham Origins, and I sent you the picture and it said, find out who this is. And it took you like 20 minutes to find out who it is.
Because I had to like skim through the comments and stuff. It's like, that's Anarchy, and I'm like, who the hell is Anarchy?
And I had to look up who Anarchy is.
Just like, isn't he like as low tier as you can come on Batman villains?
I guess, maybe. But he's the guy that's kind of like did a switch on him. That he's Anarchy, so I mean half the time he's kind of doing the right thing, and then half the time he's not really doing the right thing.
It's me, because I don't know. I don't know the first thing about anarchy.
So if he blows up the right building, he's a good guy. Blows up the wrong building, he's a bad guy, right?
Oops, I blew up the IRS. Hooray!
Everyone's like, he's the best guy ever.
He's the best villain ever!
The villainest of villainy.
He's the villainest of... This darkness is so perfect!
And I get that they want to break away from having to use Joker all the time and stuff like that, but there's still second tier or even third tier Batman villains they could use, but they're going like fourth and fifth. And again, like Brave and the Bold had like 3 episodes with Crazy Quill in it. But that show was fun. Don't diss Brave and the Bold. It was a great show.
I gotta watch Justice League Unlimited. Just because Huntress is in there.
She's like kind of a major part of one of the season's stories.
And Blick Canary.
Blick Canary.
Let's go look at Blick Canary cosplayers while we're recording this.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Anything else TV? You've been watching baseball?
Yeah, the Phillies are winning games, so that's good. They might sweep the Nationals.
The Nationals?
The Nat. Remember when they were good? Like last year? They had like a fluke season last year, but now they're back to their old ways.
I say the Nationals because a couple years ago, one day they put on their uniforms and there was no O in their name on the uniform.
Wait, you know that episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
No.
Or when Carl has like these bootleg giant shirts.
Oh, great.
He's like, I didn't know they had a team called the Nats. Oh, son of a bitch.
But that stuff happens all the time. Like, I remember one time the New York Rangers got dressed for the game and Wayne Gretzky's name had the Z and the K swapped. So he was Wayne Gretzky.
Gretzky.
And stuff like that happened. Like Andre Bloch, at one time, his thing said Andre Balche. Like, it happens. Stuff like that happens.
I saw a picture from the College World Series. The little banner above the dugout. They had 3 L's in college.
Oh yeah, they misspelled college. I read
College World Series.
The College. But yeah, so that's it for TV, right?
Eventually, I'll get through Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I'm still stuck on season 2. Haven't had time to watch that yet.
Isn't there only like 20 episodes in that whole thing? And they're like 20 minutes long, whatever. But now we're on to our movie segment, and there's been some announcements about the new Amazing Spider-Man movies. One is that they have already announced a 3rd and a 4th one, and that they're coming out in like 2015 and 2018 and something like that. But the other announcement is they're scrapping Mary Jane for the 2nd movie and moving her to the 3rd movie.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, if this 2nd one's they pretty much gave it away that Emma Stone's gonna die, like Gwen Stacy's gonna die because she wore that out.
Gwen Stacy dies.
Because spoiler alerts, Gwen Stacy dies.
Her entire purpose in Spider-Man mythos is that she dies because of Spider-Man's fault, actually. Because the Green Goblin has her on the Brooklyn Bridge and he drops her, and Spider-Man saves her, but his webbing snaps her neck.
I'll catch you with my web slinging. Oh, broken neck.
I broke your neck. Sorry. So it's like a secondary, like, at that point I haven't actually read it, but at that point I bet you he's feeling pretty good about being Spider-Man, and he's starting to forget the whole great power comes with great responsibility stuff. And then he gets reinforced by his girlfriend dying because of him.
So she's just there as a character development device.
Yes.
Didn't they have Gwen Stacy in the 3rd?
Yes. In the 3rd one, yes.
Wait, that was what's-her-face? Julianne Moore?
Yeah, no. Not Julianne Moore.
Oh, that's the old bitch lady. Nice person.
Julianne Moore was Clarice in Hannibal.
Damn it, what's her name?
I don't remember.
I don't know if she was in From Dusk Till Dawn, so I'll look that up.
I saw Spider-Man 3 once, and it was on a plane, and it was cut down enough that it wasn't as terrible.
I saw it in the theaters, and yeah. Haven't seen it since. They screwed over Venom, and they can suck it. Where's this movie?
Oh wait, was it Bryce Dallas Howard?
Juliette Lewis.
Juliette Lewis? Doubt it.
What the hell was she in that movie then? She was in that movie.
I thought it was Bryce Dallas Howard.
Was it? When the hell did Spider-Man 2 come out? Spider-Man 3?
Spider-Man 2 came out in like 04 or 05.
Maybe she wasn't in the movie at all.
Not Juliette Lewis.
You know she was in Grand Theft Auto 4?
Juliette Lewis?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised. There's been all kinds of crazy people in Grand Theft Auto games.
Oh, I love Journey.
You love Bryce Dallas Howard?
Yeah, she's an attractive woman.
Oh, back again to Mary Jane.
Yeah.
They showed a picture of the girl that's supposed to be Mary Jane.
She should be freaking Mary Jane. That is a pretty lady.
I don't know.
She's like 32 though.
What her name is, but I can't say she was an attractive woman, but I also can't say she was unattractive either. She was just kind of a regular redhead.
I would say that Kirsten Dunst was more attractive than her.
And Kirsten Dunst is not that attractive.
Which is kind of sad.
Like I said before, I might not have said it on the podcast, but kill Gwen Stacy, dye Emma Stone's hair red, and let her play Mary Jane as well.
You look just like this Gwen Stacy girl I know.
Except for she got blonde hair, and she's dead. Spider-Man broke her neck because the Green Goblin threw her off the Brooklyn Bridge.
Hey Parker, what's my favorite brand of rice?
What?
Uncle Ben's.
Oh, the first time I saw that, I almost died.
They better get freaking J.K. Simmons back as a.
Well, is he still in high school? I think he was still in high school when he started doing pictures for the Daily Bugle. So maybe. You never know. But let's get to the main event of the evening.
Oh, I missed Chikara. I say you, Chikara did.
On this last weekend, a movie came out, and Mike saw it.
I'm looking at Bryce Dallas Howard again.
She's Ron Howard's daughter.
She married?
Probably. I don't know.
Spouse. Who the hell's Seth Gable? I'm gonna look this asshole up. I want a douche-looking guy. Anyway.
First he looks like a douche.
What are we talking about?
You saw some movie this weekend?
I saw some art house movie. It was called The Man of Steel. I think it was just called Man of Steel. Oh yeah. So, talk about a few trailers. Oh, there's only two I can remember now. Elysium, which is going to be freaking amazing because it's Neil Blomkamp. I think that's his name. The guy did District 9. Yeah, that looks pretty hype. I thought it would be in the same universe as District 9, but I think I saw the guy who played Vicus in there. So there goes my theory. But yeah, I think that's in August. That looks pretty cool.
About all the rich people live on this one planet that's a paradise.
I think it's like this. I don't think it's another planet. I think it's like this space station thing. It hovers above Earth. I think
and Earth is a cesspool where everybody else lives.
Just like it is today. Ha
Good Lord. Let's launch a satellite into orbit where all the rich people can live then.
But yeah, that's gonna be pretty rad. You know, this, oh yeah, Pacific Rim, that's gonna be awesome too.
Is it gonna be Transformers done right?
Yes, no, I think it's gigantic robots fight these, big monster Godzilla.
Kaiju versus...
Kaiju big battle.
Kaiju versus Mech Warrior.
Yeah, and GLaDOS is in it, which is gonna be rad.
GLaDOS is in it pretty much as GLaDOS, the exact same voice.
I think they're changing it because I read an article. I think when that initial trailer came out, Guillermo del Toro was like, he went to Valve and was like, hey, can we use this filter? just for this trailer. And
then Mighty Gaben's like, give me $5 million.
No, Gabe's cool like that. Gabe don't care. He's like the only guy left in the video game industry that gets it. You know what? When Super Meat Boy came out, I guess the guys asked Valve if they can use the head crab as a character in the Steam version. They're like, yeah, sure, because they were just like kidding around. But then Valve's like, yeah, go for it.
So you can play as the head crab?
You can play as the head crab in the Steam version.
Steam version? That's cool.
Like, Meat Boy.
Or in my case, you can't because you'll never unlock them because you're terrible at the game.
I don't think it's that hard to unlock. But...
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I can play PC games now because I got this nice new keyboard. And maybe next week we'll talk about Binding of Isaac. Even though that game's been out for like 3 years. Was it 3 years? Anyway, movie trailers. This Pacific Rim, yeah, I mentioned that. Oh, there's this trailer for this movie called Gravity. George Clooney's in it. I think Sandra Bullock's in it too.
I just heard about this today on a podcast I was listening to.
I don't know what the. I mean, they're working on a space station, and then something happens to the space station, and they try not to get sucked into the vacuum.
I'm gonna guess that the thing that happens on the space station is somebody messes with the gravity.
No, they're like outside working on. They're outside working on whatever, and I guess they're like losing their lifeline, and then they're trying to hold on. That's all the trailer was, and I'm like, yeah, they're gonna fill 90 minutes with just them hanging on those space station.
As it crashes into Elysium.
Ooh, what a twist!
And now we've got an Ocean's 11 situation with Matt Damon and George Clooney.
Hey, look, we were in those movies together.
So, that's all you remember? There wasn't like a Wolverine or...
they didn't play Wolverine, they didn't play...
Because that's Marvel. They didn't play Thor.
They played Thor. When's Marvel?
When's Marvel?
Oh! Speaking of trailers, online yesterday, the Lego movie.
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
see that?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, it's so awesome. It's like it's all animated in Lego. Well, it's like CGI, but it kind of looks stop motion-y. And they got DC characters in there and like NBA guys, I think. And Morgan Freeman as like this wizard.
Andy Dufresne.
You know, I've yet to see that movie too.
You haven't seen Shawshank?
I know about it.
It's one of the best movies ever made.
I know enough about it. I know he breaks out of jail and Morgan Freeman goes find him in Mexico, but then he wants to go back to jail anyway. Is that right?
No.
Oh. Well, I saw the Family Guy spoof. Does that count?
Not exactly.
No. Yeah.
So how about the movie? I've heard good things and I've heard bad things about the same things.
I liked it. I didn't think it was awesome. I didn't think it was terrible. It was good. Like I said, I think I said last time, I am a Zack Snyder fan, and for this one, I'll give him a mulligan on Sucker Punch. But I think everyone's giving more of the credit to Christopher Nolan, because he produced it. I don't think he had any. Did he really have control over this one, or is it?
I don't know. You can get a producer credit for just giving him $1 million for crying out loud. So,
because it felt like a Zack Snyder movie. It wasn't like too crazy. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of slow motion. I don't think there's any slow motion stuff at all. Which has been like those slow motion artistic shots that have become known from Zack Snyder movies like 300, Watchmen, and Sucker Punch. Yeah, you saw Amazing Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
This felt like this would be the Amazing Spider-Man to the original Superman movie. So it felt like a retelling of the Superman movie, but with better acting, I'd say, and better effects. a lot of people are like going crazy about how good it looks. I don't know. I really hate all that CGI everything in movies now. Plus, some of like the action scenes, it's like you can't tell what's going on. It's like, yeah, it's like you can't tell what's going on because they're like going by real fast and.
Gray robot is fighting a gray robot.
Gunmetal robot versus gunmetal robot. Oh, don't even get me started on Transformers 2.
I've only seen the first Transformers.
Oh, yeah, I like that one. But then 2 was like, alright, I'm not wasting any more money or time on this stupid franchise.
That's funny because he's like making his 4th one right now.
Yeah, and then I saw the picture of the new Optimus Prime. It looks like garbage.
Back to Man of Steel.
Back to the Man of Steel. Yeah, it feels like a kind of... I don't want to say retread, because it was kind of a different story. Plus, a lot of people like complaining because Lex Luthor's on it, and I'm like, I don't really care. Like, he's not a real threat to Superman, I'd say.
Yeah, well, hardly, like, only person that's a real threat to Superman is Zod.
And everyone's like, General's, why would they take a lesser known villain for this movie? And I'm like, General Zod's not lesser known. I mean, he's like one of the few Superman villains I can name. Besides Darkseid and Mr. Mixisical, is that his name?
Mitzelflick or whatever.
I can't say his name.
Bizarro.
Was he's a villain, I'd say. I think he's Injustice. Is Bizarro in Injustice? I don't know.
I don't know.
So anyway, what about this movie? Yeah, it felt like that. It was just better acting. I don't think you can really ground Superman. You can't make like a realistic story about him unless you just change his origin completely.
The only way to make a realistic Superman story is to not make him super anymore.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I've seen parts of the first... I haven't seen the first Superman movie all the way through. But I didn't know that's how he got his powers, from the sun's radiation.
Yeah.
Because I always thought like all the Kryptonians were like superpowered.
No, see, because Kryptonians make up when they have a red sun in their galaxy or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, red giant.
And because of that, their molecular structure is different between red sun and yellow sun. So technically, if anybody in that entire galaxy came to our galaxy, they would be Superman.
They'd be so OP.
They would be super OP.
Yeah, because there's like one point when General Zod gets exposed to the atmosphere, and he's like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then Superman's like, "Well, I've learned to focus on my powers." And I'm like, "Why are you helping him? He's supposed to be your enemy."
He's the only other Kryptonian left. And then he realizes his cousin is alive.
In this one, there's a whole bunch that got stuck in the Phantom Zone, and then they came to Earth. So he's got like an army, kind of. He's got one chick. I thought it was like the same girl as Superman 2, but it's not. Like he has this other OP chick.
Superman! Does she say that?
No. I don't think she said anything. He's like, I am the sub-commander for General Zod. And then she's like stupid fast. But yeah, the guy who plays General Zod is awesome. I wish the whole movie was just General Zod. Because I can care less about Superman.
Does he tell him to kneel before Zod?
They don't say kneel before Zod in that whole movie.
Alright. Another question. Do they ever actually call him Superman?
Yes. Yeah, you seen that part of the trailer when they're like interrogating him?
Yeah. Well, by interrogating him, you mean he's in a military installation being talked to by Lois Lane.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense. How did that make sense? Why was Lois Lane at a military...
You care if I...
No, because I'm probably not seeing this movie.
That's alright. But I guess they find out about him. I guess because Lois Lane already found out about Superman. They found like one of his ships. And then he like told her everything that happened, and then the military finds him, and they're like, he'll only talk to me. So then that's when they bring him in handcuffed. Like one of the like a good part is like he can like see him through the glass because his X-ray vision is like, yeah, I know who you guys are. I can read your name tags. And he like gets up and he's like breaks the handcuffs, like no effort.
Of course.
But
so does that mean Superman is a Cylon?
No, because there's only one of them that we know of.
Well, there's Zod.
But that's a different model.
Would Zod be number one?
Maybe like number 10 or something. Weird.
Oh, like one that you don't know.
But
An indistinct number.
They do mention that all of the people born on Krypton, they're not natural birth. They were created there, and they were like written with a purpose.
Okay, and Zod's purpose was to be the most Kryptonian of all time.
His purpose was to protect Krypton. And like the whole point of Superman going to Earth was like to hopefully rebuild Krypton. So then General Zod's like, I must protect the future of Krypton at all costs. So that's why he's so evil.
Because puny Earthlings don't have powers.
Well, they were like, we want Kal-El to be the link between humanity and the Kryptonians. But yeah, it makes sense.
This is my destiny.
Yeah, something like that. It'll make sense if you see it.
I feel like Alberto Del Rio always talking about his destiny.
It is my destiny.
And then he winks.
Did he turn at the pay-per-view? I don't know.
Yeah, there was like a double switch.
Oh. And I could care less because...
Which is something I have to talk about in another hour or so.
Yeah. On the Club Kayfabe, where Dan is the third guy, and listen to there for all your wrestling talk. But you won't hear much wrestling talk here because wrestling's fake. Oh!
Except for we've mentioned wrestling stuff.
I make a wrestling
10
reference.
times.
I make a wrestling reference like all the time. And Chikara is dead, which I am sad.
I never got to go to a Chikara show.
Oh well. What else about this movie? Yeah, I liked it. I'd like to hear more counterpoints of why it wasn't good.
If you want to hear about why it wasn't good, then just listen to the last 15 minutes of the weekly long box.
Oh, did they talk about it there?
Yeah.
I guess I'll have to.
Listen to the last 15 minutes of that episode. Anyway. So
Yeah.
in the end, what do you give it?
I give it a 3 out of 5.
All right. What would you have given Superman Returns?
I don't know. I saw it in theaters, and I barely remember what happened.
And that was like in 2000.
I remember Kevin Spacey shouting, "Wrong!"
Okay.
You don't remember that part?
I have only seen it on FX, and I don't think I've seen the whole thing.
That became a meme on the internet
Yeah.
when that happened. Because like he's talking to Lois Lane, he's like, "Go ahead," because he was like, "Superman's gonna save us." Then he like interrupts and says, "Wrong!"
Oh, I think I remember that.
Yeah, just how he says it is like hilarious.
Okay.
I'll have to find it.
So 3 out of 5 says Mike on Man of Steel.
I'm gonna play it on the show just because it's hilarious.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me look it up here.
Oh, God. We're gonna end on this.
We're gonna end it there. All right, I got it queued up.
Okay.
Let me hear you say this one.
You're insane.
No! No, it was the other thing.
Superman will
No!
All right, goodbye, everybody. Click.